We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
It's time to buckle up for making sense of the madness.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and it's time to talk Bilderberg 2025. What we know, what we don't, what's going on the ground. Gonna give a big shout out to Dan Dix out of the gates. I mean, the guy's been covering it forever, but his coverage, again, I got to start it with that, is the best out there. Don't get me wrong. Josh Friedman is out there and a handful of others. Charlie Skelton doing a great job on X. I just went down the line and tweeted about the Builder boat. Not the first time we've had a Builder boat moment at Bilderberg. I'm going to expand upon that as well. We're going to look at some of the participants list, who's there, who's not. We're also going to go down the line of the agenda bullet points, and we're going to give you the Bermas interpretation. Love it or hate it. There are a lot of people out there that are, I think, especially on the last one, which is depopulation and migration. Yes, they're out there talking about how, these elitists, if you will, I don't like calling that, these predator class members and minions have discussed a depopulation agenda for a very, very long time. However, now, in essence, unfortunately, folks, in a way, they've kind of succeeded. So now they're talking about it in more of a post-depopulation era. And if you look at what the debunkers are saying, they're saying, well, they're just talking about current demographics. Odd how all of a sudden the current demographics that Bill Gates discussed at that TED conference well over a decade and a half ago, talking 2010-ish, put it in my 2013 film, Shade the Motion Picture, has now suddenly, in many ways, come to pass. Now, we may speculate a little bit about what that is, but we certainly won't speculate as to, again, that mainstream narrative that's being pushed. The fact that people are waiting longer to have children in the United States, which they are, and have been for some time. Really, the social conditioning is a real aspect, but that only goes so far. And yes, it has to do with the food and the drugs and the over-medications and the health of people. But I'm sure you could guess a few other things out there that it might have to do with. But again, we're going to go down bullet point listage. We're going to hit some of now the mainstays of Bilderberg. If you saw my thumbnail, it is Henry Kissinger the ghost of Kissinger passed, if you will, because Kissinger, Rockefeller, I mean, this is their baby. This is the legacy of their vision of globalism. Now, has that vision changed somewhat? I don't know, man. The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? We're talking about a Anglo-American establishment that really becomes an Anglo-American Israeli establishment. 54 is when Bilderberg is formed. And like I've said before, you can count a lot of the Middle Eastern players, Saudi Arabia especially, in that when you look at all the oil and gas companies out there that are represented year after year after year after year, that petrodollar be playing, yo. Okay? So these are the issues that matter. The mainstream media, I'm going to show you how many articles there are out there on this. And Charlie Skelton, who again is doing a great job on X, I would assume he's going to wait until tomorrow, which is the wrap-up of Bilderberg, to put out his piece in retrospect, kind of observing them. Because again, we got great shots of a bunch of billionaires and their minions outside on the Builder boat, living it up, not giving a what. And if you think that they're not discussing global affairs and cutting deals, alliances, putting forth agendas that don't affect us all, I mean, I guess you're in the Reuters perspective. That's really all I can say. Because the way the Reuters wraps up their little sparse article is Joke Town, USA. Now, I'm also probably going to go to your questions and comments if you're live over on YouTube. First of all, thumbs it up, subscribe, share. Please support the broadcast. Check out all the documentary films because they play into Bilderberg, especially Shade the Motion Picture and Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined. Please watch those films if you're new to the broadcast and you've never seen them. They're free. They're in that playlist section. But again, we're going to go to your questions, commentary. Folks, I realize also that while this is going on, we're not here to talk about the No Kings protest. I'll tell you right now, I'm in the Quad Cities in Iowa. It's as if nothing's going on. Now, I don't know. I'm sure in Illinois, maybe in Des Moines. I have no idea. Maybe something's going on. Maybe something's going on here, and I just didn't see it. But it ain't massive. All right? And it's not really something that I think needs that much focus on. We knew that the Democrats were coming, kicking and screaming with all the same rhetoric they had now for the last 8+ years. That's only gotten more extreme and more out of touch. And I'm not playing into that left-right game because the real big problem with Trump right now is whether you like his rhetoric or not, we only have escalation in the Middle East. Like, first of all, people need to realize there are a certain class of people, Israeli and otherwise, that are actually happy that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Ministry in Tel Aviv got hit last night, because that means it gets to escalate even more. As sick as that sounds. So I've been saying it for a while. I don't like seeing dead kids in my feed. I don't want an escalation into World War III. Iran, I should pronounce it correctly, Iran, is more than likely a nuclear nation, but has a first world military anyway. What are we doing? And once again, those first 30 days, the fact that we couldn't get the Middle East done, and Russia is a mess, and the Ukraine is still a mess. What is going on? I mean, no offense, Mr. President, but if the President of the United States can't just cut off the weapons and cut off the bull sniz, because it's us and our military industrial, our Lockheed Martin, our Raytheon, our now SpaceX, that enables this. So again, you want a valid criticism of that administration, There it is. It's right out in the open. And Peter Thiel, who is a steering member, and Alex Karp, who is his protege, the Palantir boys, they're at Bilderberg, along with Ann Applebaum, who just loves writing for The Atlantic, the editor-in-chief of Bloomberg, all sorts of the AI fixins. Okay? So that's why we cover it here year after year after year after year, because it does matter. I'm going to pull it back. Once again, thumbs it up, subscribe, share. Folks, I can't do this without you. $5, $10, $15, big donors. You mean the world to me. Marshall Spring, Big Hair Tsunami, Susie Q. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, could not do it without you. Please give me a follow on X as well. That's where you're going to get a lot of these raw stories. Right now, we're talking about, I love this, this picture right here. No to Bilderberger Malthusians. And these are Malthusians. It's Malthus 101. We're going to get into Dan Dix right here and his protest that was makeshift. This is where the people have spoken. I am so happy to see this just pop up in Sweden. Say no, 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 no. Get them out of here. And they had Dan. Dan has been on this now, all right, well over a decade and a half, closer to 20 years. And he is the man, the man, the man. In fact, if you're not following at Dan Dix, PFT right now, you need to be, because not only the protest, and there's Josh Friedman right next to him, but there's the local press. He got Peter Thiel. And, for 2 minutes and 20 seconds, Peter Thiel doesn't say a word. Doesn't say a word. And by the way, props to Dan, because he doesn't really post here. He doesn't even have the blue check mark. That's why that video is 2 minutes and 20 seconds long. Go check him out over on YouTube, which is channel. He just got back. Let's get into the press release for the 75th, okay? And I'm going to break down just quick little bullet points of what I think they're really discussing when they're there. Let's start right now with the transatlantic relationship. Obviously, that relationship is the NATO relationship. That is the EU and its influence and its model in conjunction with the United States, full stop. So that like when I say Anglo-American, that's that part of it. And yes, they are in alliance with Israel and certain Middle Eastern nations. They make up those first world nations now that are the military-industrial complex allies outside of Russia and their allegiances. You could say other spots of the Middle East, but we're the ones that fund Al-Qaeda. We're the ones that just overthrew the Syrian military-industrial complex, right? No matter how many allies Syria had with Russia, didn't work out. Why? Because Russia's nuts deep in a first world war with Ukraine that, again, is enabled by that transatlantic relationship, and that's why Ukraine is second. Oh, look at that. Gotta love when I do that. When I hit a button, and I got to verify that I'm a human. Well, we want the press release. We'll get to those people in a second. So Ukraine and that transatlantic relationship, it's a lot like the Coke train that we saw the other day, right? Remember old Cokey McGee? The Coke train? Just Macron just grabbing a big white bag of nothing or a tissue. And there's like a little spoony. A little spoony spoon. That's what we want. That's so the Ukraine it's like a metaphor for out of control madmen. I mean, those are just the drugged up puppets, everybody. They're not making the big boy decisions on who's getting bombed and how long this is going. So that's the relationship they're talking about. The bureaucratic relationship behind the scenes. The one that allows the United States military industrial complex to quarterback that initial conflict where Russia attacked the Ukraine. Yeah, I mean, and New York Times now doing articles about it 3+ years later. Just pointing that out. So U.S. economy, basically this discussion is really going to be along the lines of, what is actually going to be feasible during this Trump administration, right? In other words, how many of these tariffs are really going to go through? How much, what's the pain process? Because look, you can't just, everybody's said this for many, they've always thought that, they're just going to tank the economy. They're just going to tank the economy. Easier said than done. And not only just easier said than done, you literally need something like a COVID 1984 nightmare to consolidate and control, implode an economy like ours, or an economy in Europe, etc. I mean, they put it beyond beta, but the way they ran that, a lot of people are upset. You'd need a disaster point, especially because, everybody goes back to these cycles, and they often talk about the crash of 29, right? In the crash of 29, you didn't have the real socialism that you have. First of all, much smaller population. The global metrics of travel and warfare are extremely different. Okay, military-industrial complex is just starting to get their footing. You know what I'm saying, pudding? Just starting to get their footing before World War II. Large-scale stuff like that didn't exist. And then you had bread lines. People still had to make their way in the world today. Now, we got a populace in this country that, when you're talking about on some type of government subsistence, outside of Social Security, by the way, you're talking about almost half, if not more, depending if you're counting the quote-unquote migrants or illegals. So there's my U.S. economy rant. It really goes into that European rant because Europe is the model they like. They like the command control model. They like the censorship model that's bringing in the social credit score. That's the stuff that you have seen hit the mainstream somewhat. But the alternative media has done an abysmal job of covering this. Props to Jones, had Estelon on the other day talking about it. But, I mean, when I go to the mainstream stuff, and props to Rebel News, they brought up their guy, their finance minister going. By the way, I got that wrong the other day. It wasn't the UK Parliament, it was the Canadian Parliament. Shame on me. Again, human, makes mistakes. The Middle East, I mean, what is there to say other than what's going on right now? I think that you're going to get actually a wide range of opinions on how far the warfare is going to be allowed to go. But ain't no stopping what's popping unless someone really intervenes. Israel is pretty much, again, Israel stated there's no more Palestine. Israel has already been aggressive against Lebanon and Iran. If you've been paying attention, in fact, right before Bilderberg popped off, one of their defense ministers came out and basically just said, we're bombing Iran. What? And everybody was like ignoring it. And this was right around the time that the LA riots were kicking off. They do what they say. It's dangerous. So, that comes to the next thing, authoritarian axes. When these people, first of all, they buy into their own bull snap all the time. All the time. Just want to make that very clear. Buy into their own bull snap all the time. When they say authoritarian axis, they're actually the authoritarians. But they need to know who's going to be labeled as authoritarian. So it's just the opposition. So when they say authoritarian axis, they're discussing the actual opposition to their globalism, to their flavor of it. Russia is obviously there. Iran is obviously there. You know, they're obviously going to put North Korea, the old standby, in there, especially because it has that play to the American people. China is going to be on the authoritarian axis. Yet, like, when you look at these people, and the companies they represent, all doing business with China. All of them. It's a bad joke. So that's like style points. That's like Bernaysian angle, you know, what are we going to propagate? And they got the media there to frame them as authoritarians, of course. I mean, defense, innovation, and resilience. So, I mean, when you talk about that, they're talking about the global warfare, how far it's going to go, how they have no intention of pulling the plug on Ukraine, Russia whatsoever. Resilience. When they talk about innovation, they're talking about the modernization of warfare. The more they're going to be using artificial intelligence, okay, not just for things like terrorist watch lists, Lavender, etc. You name it, they're doing it. Autonomous drones, swarms, the whole shiz bango. Starlink 2.0, 3.0, DARPA's Blackjack program, over the top. What kind of business they're going to do with those communication center? You don't think Palantir's a huge part of that? I mean, the next thing is AI, deterrence, and national security. It's the same damn thing. It's the extension. And they kind of do that, by the way. The way they're kind of coupling them, moving them into each other. I mean, they all have to do with each other because we are talking about the global control of the state of the world. I mean, the next thing is proliferation. Who gets to use this stuff? Who gets to have this stuff? Who do we allow? Who do we sell this stuff to? Well, it's the people that we don't frame as authoritarians. Geopolitics of energy and critical minerals. A lot of this, I mean, we've been talking about from the Green New Deal to smart cities, all that's on there. And I mean, when you even talk about social credit scores and censorship, that's part of it. That's all part of the geopolitics of energy, convincing you that you're the problem and your carbon footprint is the problem. Bad jokes. Okay? While they're getting ready not only to do horrific things to human beings and the things they can't automate and already have been doing in these lithium mines and otherwise to get these critical minerals, to move people in the direction of things that are smart and can be automated and shut off like that. When I also say automated, I mean move the human out of doing anything with it. Okay? All that is also going to take AI. So the other geopolitics of energy, if you believe what they're saying right now, and I think they're really going to do this, with these data centers, they're going to start utilizing next generation mini nuclear centers. Now, I've heard some people say, no, they're going to use some other type of technology, and they're going to say it's that. Maybe. But either way, they're going to harness levels of energy that are unimaginable and were never accessible to actual human beings, while telling us we can't use as much energy as we used to because we're bad. Wow! Oh, wow! Just, again, just wow. Talk about the inversion of reality at the behest of humanity. That's it. And that brings us to depopulation and migration. Look, we're going to get into some of the list in a moment. Unfortunately, this also is one of my big problems. This depopulation agenda in many ways, has been successful in a lot of places, not just the United States. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself what else happened. Okay? So I think now they're talking about the realities of that and the utilization of migration in many of those places where maybe those people been a little healthier, had better foods, aren't as medicated, if you know what I mean. And how that populace is now going to be integrated into their plan, which is an anti-human one, which is a transhuman one, which is an authoritarian one. But, I mean, a lot of these people think they're benevolent. So let's get into a lot of these people right here. Stacey Abrams is now a mainstay. I think she's been going since like 2017. Lord knows why. CEO SageWorks Production. I mean, that when I talk about minions of the Predator class, that's one, right? That's somebody that was extremely propped up, couldn't even win an election with their help, and for some reason is now a darling of Bilderberg. So look, she's dedicating some things. That is real power, putting her in there. Just want to say that. Of course, Borla, that Pfizer's a big deal. James Baker, mainstay, always there. Ann Applebaum, as I said, staff writer at The Atlantic. Okay? Remember, Chatham House rules. I mean, it's crazy. Baker's been Defense Department forever. Let's keep going down the line. I mean, you see Goldman Sachs in here, of course. No kidding. Doffner is also down there, Matthias Doffner. Axel Springer Media. I mean, the media is big time. Big, represented in all sorts of ways. World Economic Forum. There's Boers, the president. And you see how and no media coverage worth any note from the mainstream right now. And when I read you the Reuters article, it is laughable. Laughable. Okay, let's keep going. David Petraeus, didn't see him here. He's usually here. I wonder if he's sick or he's got something else going on because of all the warfare happening. Still, most people get there. There's your Minister of Finance right there and National Revenue. Yep. Again, props to Rebel News for doing a real article. And, props for that other member of Parliament. I mean, this is how sad the media is. Let's just go right here quick. Okay? So I'm sorting them by date. Well, the good people at Coast to Coast are covering it. Great. It seems like a Polish outlet has covered it. Awesome. Okay. This looks like a European outlet. iHeart Radio. There we go. Good for, what's iHeart got to say? That's good for them. Put it out something on the 12th. Really, really quick. Oh, it's from the Coast to Coast. So the good people at iHeart really, Coast to Coast twice, folks. I mean, that's how important this meeting is, that it's getting such a coverage by the media. So there's MSN right there. Okay, there's the MSN article. And we've got the Reuters article up as well. Do we have this by date? Is that what we did? Yeah, we did. We sorted it by date. So really, they're pumping them out this weekend. Let's see. Business Post, Yahoo. And let's do it before we go back to some of the other members. Bilderberg Group meets in Sweden amid U.S.-Europe tensions. Bump. This is on the 12th. That was put out a couple days ago. All right. So let's just get to it. How much impact groups like Bilderberg actually has is hard to judge, according to Christina Garsten, a professor at the Swedish Collegium for Advanced Study, who studies transnational think tanks. Now, you saw 350 people out there protesting. Pretty awesome, right? I mean, they admit in this article, they tell you that NATO General Secretary Mark Rutte is there. Remember Jens Stoltenberg, who's the former NATO head. He's now a steering member. Microsoft CEO Satya, we didn't even get there. Nada and Christopher Donahue, commander of the U.S. Army, Europe and Africa. Come on. Yeah, no big deal. But, let's see. How much power do they have? Okay? Because it's unreal. Let's see. They aim to shape the broad political and corporate agenda. No kidding. But if they are seen as having too much influence, they can be accused of being anti-democratic. Oh, you think? I mean, you think that this is anti-democratic? No, this is saving democracy. Bilderberg is saving democracy. It's there that conspiracy theories can flower. She dismissed the better held by some that groups like Bilderberg make up a shadow world government. I think it's very much exaggerated, she said. No, they'd like a global government, but if you don't think that they're acting as a shadow government apparatus when governments are there right now not serving the people, but controlling them through media and lies, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Get those questions and comments in on Bilderberg 2025, everybody. We're going to be to you in a moment. Let's go back down through some of the participants in there. Get to Carp and others. So, yeah, I mean, again, you've got ministers of finance. You've got bankers. You've got the tech bros in there. You've got Carp of Palantir. You've also got Peter Thiel. Just getting right there. There's Palantir Technologies. Bazinga! They're really good people. You got the Hudson Institute, old school think tanks, KR Foundation. See, this person's a think tank expert. They should know that all the major think tanks are also represented here. This is it. This is the apex of that power structure. Do they have total and complete global control? No. And hopefully they never will. Do they aspire to that? Yes. In some sense, yes. With that being said, let's do it. And, if your favorite leader is on here and I missed him, throw him down in the comments. Comment down below, not just in the live stream. Help the algorithm. Before we go there, though, I do want to say this. I wanted to get to the builder boat that they're on, okay, because they're builder boating. Mike Pompeo, while he was the head of the NSA under the Trump administration, he gave a speech on the builder boat, okay, about relations with Iran, by the way, at a castle. See, the builder boat actually took off. Here they're just hobnobbing on the boat. I don't know if they actually go anywhere. They went to a castle. Jared Kushner was on that builder boat as well. And if you go to C-SPAN, in fact, let's do it live. See if we can't find it right now. We'll type in C-SPAN, Bilderberg, Mike Pompeo. Okay, there it is. They're in Switzerland too. So it's the same boat. So I wonder if they went to the castle this time around too. Or no, that's Switzerland, not Sweden. See, I'm an asshole. I'm glad I could correct myself there that quick. But here he is, about to go builder boating. Okay, we'll take the sound off. But there's a bunch of Secret Service. Here he is in some photo ops before he goes builder boating. Then they walk him out. Let's get over to that builder boat style because he leaves. And this is where they walk down to that boat. And here it is. Hey, there's a lovely boat. Let's see if we can get that boat. We see the boat? Let's see. Let's see if the peasants can see the boat. Sorry, I'm looking in. Maybe not. Maybe we don't get to see the boat. I could have swore at the very tail end we got to see the boat. Maybe not. Maybe no boat for us. But there's a builder boat this year again. They're boating. Oh, let's get that out of there. Oh, there he is. Yeah, look. And by the way, big fan of the UN, big fan of Israel. Old Pompeo. So I think Charlie Skelton's going to have quite a bit to talk about on the boat issue. Oh, there they are, sipping wine and having cheese. But a great reason to follow me on X. I'm retweeting all this stuff. Lots of big-time Bilderberg and beyond stuff that you're not going to see in the mainstream media, and you can see it in there. And again, one more time for Dan Dix. Dan Dix doing it big and continuing to do it. He could use your support as well. All right, let's get into some questions and commentary. What do we got here? Good evening. The Army parade looks scary, just weird. Reminds me of, well, haven't watched it. Yeah, he got Thiel. No, we are live right now. Running Gaza check bank points is home safe in England with wife. Doesn't shock me. I mean, it's a U.S. military. The U.S. military special forces was in Israel before October 7th. If you don't think that this has been a joint operation, everybody, again, you're not paying attention, just like the Ukraine thing. That should just show you that despite all the rhetoric and how much power you think Trump has, it ain't 5D chess, everybody. He can't stop the war. And I think he actually wants to. I do. Maybe I'm just being ignorant. Theo the criminal, been promoted by Trump. Yeah, I mean, he was it's a reciprocal relationship, and Trump's a transactional guy. He was the technology secretary in the first administration, and if you don't think he had a lot to do with this second Trump run, especially J.D. Vance in there, ain't paying attention. Let's see. What's up, everyone? Supermodel. Trump is a joke. He is as much a puppet as Joe Biden. In fact, Trump is worse because he at least gives the impression that he is cognizant. Well, he actually was. He didn't have dementia. He doesn't have dementia. And you can say he's worse, but, again, I was thinking about some of the good things. Bobby Kennedy is in there doing good things right now. He did mass pardon the J6ers, which is a good thing. We've gotten more information on that, more information on Russiagate. Far from perfect. Lots of problems. We mentioned some of those problems earlier on, especially when it comes to the foreign policy. Okay. Oh, yeah, you had to look up Malthusian? You bet. What's a life worth? Malthus 101. Jason, Dan, and Luke are the OG young proteges of Chasing the Truth. Well, thank you there. Let's see. I was calming down the new rescue husky. He gets wild at night. Do love me the doggins. Let's see. Don't forget Jeff Berwick. He's the guy who brought Luke to Epstein Island. That's a fun $1 vigilante. And he's been talking about Palantir lately. I saw a video of his out there and about. Let's see. Yep. No one to hold them, no one to fold them. We do have the cards on the thumb there. Let's see. I'm up over 50%. Oh, well, good luck out there. Let's see. BitChute, yep, we're over there. I have really low expectations for any stuff going on done. But, yeah, I mean, RFK, like I just said, Scott. Okay? It's good stuff. And by the way, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. If you haven't thumbs it up yet, let's get 100 thumbs. We don't even have 100 thumbs, 145 people watching the broadcast. Also, please consider supporting $5, $10, $15. The links are down below. Let's keep going through the chat here. See what everybody has to say about Bilderberg 2025 and beyond. Let's see. Full garden mode. Depopulation and migration is the final item on the agenda. I mean, again, I think that they've already weaponized migration, and unfortunately, in a lot of manners, the things they've talked depopulation-wise, they've gotten their wish. They have gotten their wish. Let's see. Great Britain nearly threw out the royal family after World War I. Shoulda, but didn't. And the fact that we have royal bloodlines, not just European ones, that are in power in 2025 should let you know all you need to. That nepotism and rule by bloodline still rules the day in much of the world. Generational power players. Let's see. Our economy cannot just easily be destroyed. They have to, in order to destroy our economy, they have to redistribute. They have to have a planned redistribution of wealth to the top, where the people don't go so bananas, okay, that they get dragged through the streets. They've been pretty good at that, at least in the Western world. Not everywhere. Iceland, it didn't work out so well. They hung some people out there. Just point that out. It's not all the time. Bilderberg meeting list won't let me in. I've ticked the box, verify I'm human multiple times, and it won't let me in, maybe because I am a human and not a lizard. Probably browser settings, firewalls, etc. Let's see. Requesting delivery of physical for the outstanding gold and silver COMEX contracts held by the CFI banks would send the derivatives market. Yeah, but that's not happening either. No one's calling that in. Let's see. Even Bitcoin confiscation. I mean, there's a lot that could do some things. Let's see. Yes, Raoul Wallenberger, part of the Wallenberg family. I don't know, but I know the Wallenberg family are the ones that are Bilderboten. They are Bilderboten. Dr. Crispy Kissinger, I stopped walking to stop my carbon footprint. The ghost of Kissinger passed, indeed. Indeed. Let's see. Anything else in there? It looks like we're towards the end. So one more time, guys, consider supporting the broadcast. Bilderberg 2025. Susan Skelton puts out an article. I'm going to badger him to get him on the broadcast shortly after. We're also going to cover that article. Once again, Dan Dix, Josh Friedman, thank you so much for being on the ground. Please go check out their work. Remember, to this guy, it's not about left or right. It is always about right and wrong. I absolutely love you guys, and we will see you all on the flip side.